Okay, we're on.
Oh, wait,
It's
right.
worked that time.
Hey. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back after a long weekend. I think most people, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, I'm not sure if the Southern Hemisphere still have May Day, because May Day is, oh, my phone's going off. May Day is all about the difference between the spring solstice and the midsummer. So it's the equal part. So whether you have the same in the Southern Hemisphere, let me know. I'm interested. I wasn't in Australia for that part of the year, so I don't know. Right. Anyway, I'm waffling. Back to the subject in hand. Right. Hello, Jane. Good morning. Do say hi when you come on. If you're watching this on replay, please do the usual #replay. Morning, Teresa. It allows me to know that you've watched this, so that's first thing, but also it helps the algorithms and things like that, so you get to see more of this, more of what you need from me, rather than having to come looking for it. So right, good morning, everybody. I can't wait to tell you what we've got planned. This has been something that's been brewing for a long time. Good morning, Susan. Hello, Sally. Lovely to see you all. Oh, right. Wow. So, do you know what? I really appreciate you joining me on the first day back after the weekend. It's lovely to see you all. Amy and I are here because there's something that we've been brewing for a while. And it's something that we're really excited to talk to you about and announce today. And it really comes from a lot of my experience over the last couple of years in the coaching industry, but I suppose also from all my time being, the 10 years now. In fact, it was the end of May 2013 that I left my corporate job. But I started my first business in the February. But it's that 10 years of being in business that's really made me realize that there are so many people out there. There's a real common theme in business owners. And I think probably particularly female business owners, although I suspect we're just a bit more honest if it comes to it. But it's about like that concept of we don't know what we don't know. Like there's a big, massive jigsaw. And in my head, the vision I've got is, those baked bean jigsaw puzzles where like every piece looks like it needs to go there. But it's like you've got this massive jigsaw puzzle and missing pieces. 1, 2, lots. It doesn't matter. But because there are missing pieces, you can't see the complete picture. And that complete picture is your success. And it's like, it's so frustrating because you don't know what pieces you're missing to actually create that success. You've always said it, Jane. I was going to say, who resonates with this? Can you feel like you're missing pieces? Do you know where your missing pieces lie? Because we kind of know, like, is it the edge of the baked bean plate, or is it the center of the baked bean plate, or is it the background? What piece is missing from you? Amy's laughing. We've had so many discussions on this probably over quite a long period of time, because this has been something that we've been talking about for a long time, Amy and I. But this is something I see a lot. I've experienced it. Amy's going to tell you a bit about her experience as well. So, I resonate with this completely. And do you know what? I was missing it for too long. It was a long time that I felt that frustration. So tell us in the comments. Gosh, we're getting lots of comments. I can't keep up with them. What it is that you
agreeing.
Yeah, morning, Emma, how are you? Oh, someone's a Facebook user. If that's Carol, just put a C next to you, because I know you struggle with it. StreamYard doesn't seem to like you, but if you can just click the button and say that you give StreamYard approval, we can see who it is. But yeah, so is anybody else feeling that frustration? Because it's really common. You're not unusual. In fact, I would say that's the norm. I believe it's the common reason why most people kind of go around in circles and never quite hit that successful business, that they're missing that piece and they don't know what they don't know. And, that's completely understandable. It's incredibly frustrating, especially when you look at others and think, what are they doing that I'm not? What is it that I'm missing? Susan's saying, yeah, definitely. Teresa, definitely. Facebook users saying definitely. It is. And it's bloody frustrating, isn't it? Because, I did a post the other day about mistaking determination for actually a sabotage. And I think that was me. I was like, right, I'm just going to keep going. And actually what I needed to do was stop and look at the picture and see where the pieces were missing. You know, sometimes it's in the marketing, sometimes in the messaging, sometimes in your social media, sometimes in your branding. You know, it can be, you know, your website, it could be lots of different things. And it's like almost like a thread that goes through that's creating the issue. And once you kind of sort that piece of the jigsaw out, all of a sudden a picture is formed and you can step forward into your next point. So, you know, it's what I want to say to you is you're not alone. Okay, you're not unusual, you're not broken, as I used to say to myself. I must be broken, no one wants me, I can't do this, I'm not made for this, when I was doing my chocolate business. And it's funny actually, because yesterday we went to the Mayfair. It's the first time since 2012 that I've been to the Mayfair and not spent the whole time in the craft tent selling my chocolates. So it was a really different experience for me. And it really made me realize how far I've come in that time. You know, I used to do brilliantly there. It was one of my best fairs, considering it was straight after Easter and everybody was sick of chocolate. I did very, very well. But, you know, I got rave reviews for my chocolates. I loved making my chocolates, but my audience wasn't big enough. But I just thought I needed to make more chocolate. You know, that's the bit that I loved. And I was missing out on the other bits and that jigsaw puzzle that I really needed to work out. And once I did that, I got those 5K months and more. So it's amazing how quickly, and it really was within a few months, things really started to move and shift for me. And it is literally just finding those missing pieces of the jigsaw. And that's where determination can really cause us problems, in the fact that we're working. You know, and I think, Amy, you relate to this as well. You were saying about your kind of missing pieces of the jigsaw, weren't you?
I feel like there's so much of maybe the last 10 years for me that's been about missing parts of the jigsaw, for definite. I've always been a bit of a dreamer. I've always been very ambitious. I've always felt like I could be doing something really fantastic, something really special, but I never quite had the confidence in myself to do it. And for a long time, so I'm originally from East Anglia, and I now live up in Leeds. And for a long time, after I moved up here, I thought the missing piece was that I wasn't at home. I wasn't down in Ipswich. And I spent a long time just plodding along in life because I thought my missing piece was that I needed to move back down to Ipswich. I then met Luke, got pregnant. It was when I finally got a flat in Leeds before I'd met Luke, and that I finally started thinking, you know what, actually, I quite like it here. And when I'm living my own life, I'm quite enjoying it. But then I met Luke and I really settled down once we had the kids. And I was like, okay, so there's something else, isn't there? And I actually think it was me. It was inside me. And it went back to this. I always believed that I should and could have a really great career. I just hadn't ever felt I was good enough for it. And I think putting the pieces together to try and find the career that I wanted was huge for me, and a journey that I'm still on now. But the part that I wanted to share was that a lot of it, so I got made redundant when I was pregnant with Harry, and it just threw me into absolute, like, turned my world upside down, because a career that I maybe hadn't been pushing as hard as I could have done, but I wasn't really enjoying. All of a sudden, I was having to start from scratch at 32 with a child. And I was just like, oh, I'm never, ever going to get this dream. I'm never, ever going to get this final piece of the jigsaw. So I think for a long time, I plodded on with what's the next step? What's the in desperation to be able to earn some kind of money. It was like, what do I do next? I want to do social media. What's the easiest way to get into that? What's the easiest way to just keep this going? And the easiest way was working for agencies, being underpaid and undervalued, massively so, which then, of course, kept me down. Eventually, funnily enough, we were just talking about giving yourself space. The pandemic came around. The two clients that I was working with, understandably so, had to cancel the work. And I sat down and I call it was a business plan. It probably wasn't a very detailed or very good one, but I just brain dumped everything I wanted to do with my business. And that is when the Content Planning Wizard was born. Suddenly I stopped looking at myself as a freelancer, and I started looking at myself as the business owner, Amy, the business owner. And I still wasn't quite there, but that was the next piece of the jigsaw, was stepping up into being a business owner, not just a freelancer who does everybody's work that they don't want to do. And it's kept developing them from there. And I think that's the thing for me, is there'll always probably be another piece of the jigsaw to find and to add. But it wasn't until I started working with Sam that I finally admitted, because you delve so deep in Sam's work into what you actually want to do and what your authentic vision is. And I was like, right, do you know what? Cards on the table. I don't really talk to many people about it because I'm a bit embarrassed. It's a bit of a dreamer. It's a bit like, I think I'm kidding myself, but I want to be a writer. I've always wanted to be a writer. And Sam said to me, but that's not connected to what you do. And I was like, well, I know, but how do I can't get to that point. I'll never do it. But ever since we've known that is my final piece of the jigsaw that we're working towards, I have gone from strength to strength. And I think sometimes it's admitting to yourself what is missing and being able to look for it. And then it is knowing that there is a way to get there. And I always say that if I could go back to 2020 and start working with Sam as soon as I found her, then I would. And this isn't meant as a plug, but this is the jigsaw piece that was missing for me, was a plan. It was a guidance. Someone tell me what to do. I love planning. I do more planning than actual doing. So
that was me.
If I could do more of, if someone could sit me down and say, this is what you need to do for the plan, and by the way, don't forget what your dreams are, then I think that was the missing piece for me, was actually just having that bit of guidance on the planning. And
it was the soul connection. It was making the plan move towards your soul connection, wasn't it? And I think that, and this is where the difference comes, is the fact that so often we're looking externally, and I talk about this a lot, that we're looking externally for what we need, when actually we need to look internally first to be able to create that path. 100%. And Jane, Sally just put it, is seeking but never quite finding. And it's taking the time to look deeper. I just looked on my phone as to who the Facebook user was. Nicole, hello. And you asked me about what my missing pieces were as well. And look, what I want to say is we've all got a different picture, right? I am not a writer. Amy has got this fantastic idea, that's her soul connection. Her soul calling is about writing. That's not mine. And that's the thing, we're all different. And I see a lot of people go out there saying, follow this plan and you'll get there. And we all want that step-by-step guide, but it's about creating the step-by-step plan that is right for you. So my missing pieces of the jigsaw were around the resistance to running a business. I remember repeating so many times to anybody that would listen, is I just want to make chocolates. And when I got to do that, I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, because it wasn't my soul calling, but it was part of my story. It was part of my learning of what I needed to do. So, the missing piece for me was around the fact of not feeling good enough to do the business stuff. Now, I've got a business degree. I have worked in business. So as an HR generalist and in Reward, we partner managers. That's why we're called business partners, to actually run their business. So we look at how to leverage the strengths and experience of their teams to get the optimum results that feed up to the business objectives, the strategy. And I was working at such a high level, and I put all that aside. And I was like, no, I'm working in my own little world. And I'd focused on not going back into corporate. And the fear was driving me. Once I changed that and moved forwards, it was a whole different ballgame. So, what I want to say is that there's commonalities in this, but there's very much your own picture that you're creating, your own plate of baked beans, and remember what I always say is that each fingerprint that you've got on your hand is different, right? That's how unique you are. It's not like you've got one fingerprint on all 10 fingers, and, or as my daughter would say, 8 fingers and 2 thumbs. You know, you are so unique that you have 10 different fingerprints. That is incredible. So we need to create that uniqueness for you as well. Now, there is a step-by-step process that you can do this, and that's what we're going to talk about today. You know, and it's kind of how you can discover what your missing pieces are. Because the last thing you need is one of these 3 things that turns around to you and says, this is what you're missing. Bye. And doesn't tell you the how. So don't worry. You know me, I don't believe in leaving you hanging. But, you know, let us know in the comments. I'm losing all the comments here. But, you know, what is your biggest frustration at the moment? Most people will tell me it's about clients, and I totally get that. But it's not. There's more to it. You know, think about when I was chatting to a client the other day, and she was saying they're telling me that they haven't got the time for doing it, or they haven't got the money to do it. And I'm like, no, I'm the time and money coach, and I get told that stuff as well. That's not true. We need to understand a bit more about them. So
I think there's something in it as well about what you're saying about being unique, about picturing what your jigsaw is, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like being able to close your eyes and envision what is on that jigsaw.
And then so many people find that hard.
Yeah, and I know, you know, I did. Yeah, when I first started on Connected Blueprint with Sam, one of the first meditations you do is one of the first exercises is picturing yourself in the future, and I couldn't do it. And it took a long time for me to get there. And then eventually I did a letter from my 80-year-old self, and I love it. I still read it back now to get myself inspired.
That's the week that they're on at the moment in the Connected
Blueprint.
Oh, is it? The Connected Blueprint. That's the week they're on. So they're all in the midst of that.
Amazing. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? Is I would love to know what everybody else's sort of jigsaws are, what their finished pictures might be, and what they feel is missing to get them there.
Even if you have a clear picture, do you know, I hear a lot of the time it's foggy. Yeah. You know, and one of the things that I hear a lot, I can't see the wood for the trees. And it's like clearing that space for you. So biggest frustration for me, Nicole, biggest frustration for me is I need to really work out my why. My self-discipline is shocking, and I think that's why. I think you're beating yourself up unnecessarily.
I was going to say you are being far too hard on yourself, Nicole. You do some incredible things. You are doing very, very well. You are.
I think you're wasting your energy on thinking that you're not doing things right.
Agreed.
What are you doing well?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Turn it on its head. Let's get the positive stuff, the good energy into something. And actually, right, I'm going to give away everything if I continue. So I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to tell you our big announcement. We have created a 3-day training. Well, really, it's 5 days. I was thinking about this because we're doing 3 days of training, but we've got a kickoff live really to get our focus sorted, and then we're doing a bonus Q&A afterwards, and we've got another expert coming in. I'll tell you a bit about it in a moment. So we are going to help you find the missing pieces of your you know, your jigsaw, create your jigsaw puzzle so that it is complete, and you've got that step-by-step guide that's unique to you. So we've got 3 days of training, and as I say, 2 other days of training. Let me just find my notes because they've gone. And basically, we're going to help you find the missing pieces of your jigsaw so that you can reveal your unique step-by-step guide to building your wildly, not any business, come on, we're in this for the good stuff, wildly successful business without making sacrifices. And this is really important to me. You know, I talked about the determination. I just kept going at it. That's part of the problem. This is about stepping back, breathing, thinking it through. What is the best plan? We're told that building a business is easy, and yet we're having it so hard. It's not a smooth ride. I'm not going to tell you it's always perfect, but it doesn't have to be as hard as we make it. you know, if we get those missing pieces, it all kind of fits together. I've got suddenly this vision of putting a piece of jigsaw into the puzzle. And, you know, like in DC Marvel stuff, the electric shock goes, you know, the pulse goes out. It's that kind of reaction to it.
Just thinking about what Nicole said there in relation to what you were just saying, when we're talking about, I said I'm really good at planning, but not necessarily doing the do. And I've got a lot better at that since I've been working with you, because I believe in what I'm planning and I believe that I can get there. And I do sometimes
don't do the
wonder if the
sabotage.
reason we don't get our jobs done is because actually we don't believe it's going to be successful. So if you could have a guide in front of you that you know is going to work and it's going to help you on your path to learning, and also know that you're not going to fail, because whatever happens next is going to be the next step of your journey.
And that's it. It's never a failure. It's always learning. And I know that sounds cliche, but it is so true. When you reframe it in that way, it makes a huge difference to how you are doing it.
Yeah.
So it's really important that, you know, we understand that it's a bit like when you have kids, isn't it? Why doesn't someone send a manual with them? But there are tons of books on the subject, and they all have similar kind of veins of how we are supposed to be as parents and how we bring up children to be responsible citizens and stuff. So there is stuff out there. And again, it's like the same with your business. I mean, I always liken business to be my third child, I have to say, because I care and nurture for it just as much. And what I want you to realize is that this training is going to give you a step-by-step guide, but it isn't going to be about following a prescribed way. This is about seeing your way of doing it, because that's what creates the ease. As Amy said, you know, when we fight, when we try and achieve something that we don't quite have the belief in, that we don't think we're going to actually achieve. There is actually a theory of this. When I did my CIPD, we had to study it. I think it was Vroom or Adams, that said that if the target is not deemed achievable, then the effort won't be put in.
Yeah.
Very masculine energy there in the subject, but it's so true. If you don't think you can do it, you just won't do it. And it's not like you consciously do this. This is subconsciously. So Amy was great at planning, you know, and I was the same. To-do lists. I loved doing my to-do list. It meant that I was in control. I knew what I was doing. Actually, finishing the to-do list and getting it shorter, nah. I was much happier putting stuff on it than I was taking it off. And that's why I don't do to-do lists anymore, because I know they're my sabotage. And this is the thing. It's about creating that pathway that's for you. And I said about can't see the wood for the trees. This is about clearing that path. You know, the beautiful forests and woods are still going to be around, but it's about finding your path through and clearing the way so that you can see the future, so that you take every step with clarity, and that you're empowered to take those steps, that you feel confident to take those steps every day. And it's more than that, because it's also about that calm, that inner harmonious feeling of knowing that you are moving forward. Because so often we take an action and we're not really sure what we're doing, how we're doing it. I hear a lot of, well, I know what I want to do, but I don't know how. And, you know, and they're basically in the forest looking around, not knowing what to do. So this is about really giving you that confidence to take those steps forward every day, in the knowledge that whatever step you take, it's going to be something good, because you're going to receive something from it, that you're going to learn from it, even if it's not going to, you know, necessarily be directly money. It's going to be useful. Just like my chocolate business, you know, it was great. And there's part of me that wishes I went straight into coaching, but then I realized that I needed that for that learning, to be able to relay my story to you today. That's, you know, what really changed it for me. One of the things that I remember sitting in, I was saying this story to someone over the weekend. I sat on my spare bed once, sobbing my heart out because I was really struggling. And I decided that the reason I had this was because this was my story to help others. And then at the weekend, I told that story and I was like, oh my God, I've made that reality. I've created that reality. I've manifested it. And that's, you know, that's how I did it, was that I made that decision. That's what I would do. And that's why, and I reframed it into a positive and I allowed it to happen. So it's really about feeling that power, that calm, that you know what you need to do. And the kind of the how is less of an issue because you know it's going to unfold in front of you. right? With every step, it becomes clearer. And that's the key, is confidently moving forward, knowing that the path isn't the clearest, but you are clearing it as you go. Each time you step forward, there's a further clearance that you can do. And it feels like magic. It does feel like, you know, it's something magical. Manifesting is seen as something magical, but it's not. It's about you creating your reality, because you have the power to create it. This is about you manifesting what you want and creating the dream that you want. And most of all, that you deserve. You all deserve to have success. You all work hard, you know, and I don't necessarily like that sentence, but you are amazing ladies. It's about unlocking that power within you to do it. So anyway, it's more about the joy of this training. Let's get into the detail of what this training is about, so that you know what we're going to be doing. So we have a kickoff meeting live next week on in our dedicated Facebook group. You do need to join a new Facebook group for this, and it's on Thursday, and we'll be getting to know each other a bit more, but also, you know, talking a bit of why, you know, what are the common struggles that women have to gain the traction and momentum to earn the money that we deserve, because we do deserve to earn money. It's not like we're servant girls. As I said in my post the other day, we are queens. It's about stepping into that energy and putting your crown on. And then we've got the 3 days of training, Monday to Wednesday. You've got me for the first 2 days. And together we're going to be looking at the current shape of your business. I've got a really simple exercise that you've probably heard of before, but you've just resisted doing. And we're going to take you through that. And then we're going to really highlight, doing that, we'll highlight what you need to know to create the clarity for that pathway to open up for you. And what we're going to do is leverage what works well and addressing the bits that aren't so good, because we tend to ignore those. And I have a great saying. I've been told I've got Samisms. And one of them is that if you sweep things under the carpet, they'll trip you up later. Because if you think about it, you sweep stuff under the carpet, you get a lump, don't you? You're going to trip over it. So we deal with some of that stuff as well.
I like the bury
boy
your
get
head in the
excited.
sand one.
You bury your head in the sand, you get bitten on the bum. All right. By the way, my son's getting very excited on Minecraft at the moment, so if you can hear him in the background, strike day again. The joys of juggling business and parenthood. Oh, he's heard. He's come to say hello. Oh, sorry.
I was on Roblox.
You were on Roblox.
Roblox.
I fell off.
Oh, you fell off.
I was playing a game and I fell off.
That's a bit silly. Right. Go. See you later. Right, they can't see you. Come here. Come here. Come here.
Hi, Slippy.
Go on then. Off you go. Bye-bye.
Harry loves Roblox as well. And makes exactly that noise as well.
He just gets so excited. He was like, I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet. I'm like, you can come on. It's okay. People know you're there. But you just come on and say hello. So he said hello. No, so that's fine. But yeah, so going back to this training, the first 2 days are very much about, you know, looking at the shape of your business and what we can really leverage, you know, your passion, your purpose, and then working on the stuff that you're struggling with and what we need to do to fill that gap, and making sure that you've got a really strong, sustainable business. For me, I said to Amy, this, you know, in my head, I've got lots of visions in my head these days. It's about the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So it's about building those solid foundations so that your business can grow without kind of being the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So it's really strong growth. And then, so, you know, going back to my notes. So it's about leveraging what works well and addressing the bits that aren't so good. And it might not seem an obvious way to attract more clients, but I'm going to show you why this method is missed by so many and why it is the missing piece of the jigsaw for so many, that it causes that struggle, that it causes that difficulty. So I'm going to help you step into your power with, and as I say, without extra work. This is about looking at leveraging the good stuff and dealing with the stuff that's not working so well, so that you attract those good clients, the clients that you love to work with. Then we start working on how you're going to serve them, because once you've got those amazing clients, we want to keep them in your world, don't we? We don't want to lose them. We want to just keep adding more. You might have a trickle of exits as they get what they need, and that's fine too. You know, I have the hummingbird logo because I help people fly free, right? I let them go. So it's fine to let people go. But what we want to do is keep people in our world and add to them. And, you know, that's what I've been doing. I've been working with people for a few years now. I've got some of my original clients still working with me. Teresa, you're one of my original clients. You know, I still have those people working with me. So it's definitely something that is possible that you can do. And I'll show you what you need to do that. So it's about, you know, again, going back to that servant versus queen energy, stepping into your queen energy and serving and being served, you know, receiving as well as giving. And we're going to be diving into your passion, your purpose, to really elevate what you do for your clients so that they not only get the results that you offer, but they become the raving fans and love working with you. Because there's nothing nicer than, you know, having someone put something lovely on Facebook about how well, you know, how much they've appreciated working with you. And Emma put on a comment not long ago about how her only regret is not working with me sooner. And that was such a lovely thing for me to hear. You know, I didn't necessarily ask her to do it. She just did it. And that was, you know, that made my world. And that's what we want for you. You know, you should be getting that kind of response from people. Okay. So that's me for the first 2 days. And then Amy is taking over for day 3.
Absolutely. So the idea with what I do is that we take what Sam has done with you in the first 2 days, and then we apply that into your messaging. Yes, you know me, the focus will be on social media, but this will be for anything that you're writing. So anything that goes on your website, anything that goes into an email, the work that we do will build on what you've done with Sam and make sure that you're being really consistent overall with your messaging. So I'm going to be talking to you about the 4 cons of social media. Now, I think we could probably all name a few cons of social media, the things that really bug us about it. But I want to flip that mindset for you. We're going to start to see social media as the positive that it is and the benefit and how vital it is to your business by focusing on 4 areas that will really make it work. And this I have to say is key. Getting the social media planning in at the same time as your business planning, because it's social media that will help make it work. It'll help make it happen. And vice versa, when I work with people who are trying to do their social media planning and they don't have any idea what they're trying to do with their business, it makes social media not work. We need the stuff that you're doing with Sam before we can start amplifying your message, take you out into the wider world on the social media. So this is why Sam and I have been working so closely together for the last 6 months-ish. We really, really firmly believe. I do think I've been doing it longer with Prosperity Circle, haven't I? It's been a long time.
Yeah.
But we firmly believe that you need them both doing together. I often feel like it's a little bit pointless. Not pointless, because I work with loads of people, but it's easier for me to show a difference if somebody has done some business planning. It's easier for me to have an impact with my social media when you have done your business planning. And that's why Sam and I work so well together. So the 4 cons that we'll be covering are confidence. So we'll be looking at ways to make sure that you feel more confident in your social media. And that is essentially knowing what you want to get out of it. So you will have a plan for your business, and then you're going to look at how social media is going to make that happen, is going to help support you to get there. So when we talk about doing the do, a lot of the time, the jobs that you need to do are based around social media and your marketing in general. So we'll be talking about that. Consistency, my favorite word and my area of magic, getting into planning, getting into content planning. I'm going to share with you some content ideas. So some prompts just to get you back on track. Again, using what we've done with Sam, getting you it's kind of like a base, what's the word I'm looking for? Core posts that you can refer to again and again in your social media to keep using them and keep that message consistent. This word is going to keep coming out from me every single day. One area that I haven't really covered yet, and I know that in the Prosperity Circle, we are getting closer to needing to delve into this deeper, and we are doing it in Business Builder as well, is the client journey. How to make connections through social media is obviously your absolute goal, but there is no point in just going out there clicking add friend to random people. There is more to it than that, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to talk to you about having a client journey, a soul client journey that fits your overall business plan. So like Sam, we can go from befriending somebody on Facebook to having them as a client for 10 years plus. That's the goal. And we need to work out what journey we're taking them on through our content and our groups and things like that.
And not doing a DM that I got over the weekend. Oh, I see you're a coach in time and money. Really?
Is that it? Yeah, we're not. I do believe that DMs are a vital part of social media, but you will never hear Samurai setting you a target of sending so many DMs a day or anything like that. I won't tell you to go and post random sales posts in random local groups. It just doesn't. It's a waste of your time. And the whole point in this training is to stop you wasting your time and give you the focus for the things that work. And then the final thing, which actually I need to do more of, but I think I avoid it because I'm not very consistent with it myself. So you guys will have to make me stick to it. But it's ways of working. It's the final con is conservation. So conserving your energy, making sure you are not spending every ounce of your energy and every minute of your time on social media, because that is not why you run a business. That is not what you want to be doing. Even I don't want to spend that long on social media, and it is like my life. So I want to make sure that we come up with, again, a way of working that fits you, fits your business, fits your personal life. That is the most important thing for me, is the flexible working. So those 4 areas that we're going to cover are going to give you a new part. They're going to form part of that blueprint for success, because I know that each of those 4 things are sustainable. They're things that you can keep going over time.
And that's such an important part of this, isn't it? It's about the fact, I mean, time and money. Yes, that's what I do. And that's what we'll be doing in this training. It is about doing, things that aren't going to suck your energy, that are going to not take up too much time, so that you have the best return on your investment. And part of that is money. So it's about making sure that you're doing things effectively and efficiently. And you're not going around in circles wondering where you need to be. Just picking up, we've got some more to tell you about about this training course. So, there's more to be done. But I'm conscious that there's been some comments to just address and saying, the biggest frustration is to really work out my why, my self-discipline. We talked about that, Nicole, that you're beating yourself up. But your why is so important. And this is one of the things that we're going to be focusing on next week, or not next week, the week after, on the training, because a lot of people go for their why in a certain way, and we're missing a point, and we're missing the passion and the purpose in there. So we're going to be working on that from a different angle than you normally see, which is really interesting. And that, just doing that was one of the things that really opened things up for Amy. That was a missing piece of her jigsaw. Was her why was there, but it didn't cover everything that she needed in there. And once we put that little bit extra in there, it changed it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and then going on to Sally, you don't know who your ideal client is. That's one of the things that we start working on as well, is who do we want to work with? What really lights us up? What is it about our journey? I talked about my chocolate business, and that's been my story. What is your story? What can you create that's going to give you what you need to be able to identify the people? And a lot of it is about learning as well. I'm still honing on that. And I think it's about, we get this idea that that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to have this avatar and know what they eat for dinner, and when they go to the toilet and all of that sort of stuff. And really, no, it doesn't need to be like that. It's a whole different, when we come at it from a different energy, it really opens the door for us. And we'll be talking about that next week as well. Not next week. I keep saying that. I'm too excited. I want it to be next week.
So much to do next week. Don't add something else.
Well, I've got a birthday to deal with, and more time off, isn't it? Coronation and all that sort of stuff. So Teresa, you remember the feeling that you knew where you wanted to go, but you didn't know how to get there exactly. And I'm glad I've been able to help you. I mean, your vision is now is massive in comparison to what it once was, which is amazing. Susan, finding my ideal client and getting paid. And your ideal client, that's how you get paid. So it's like this trail that we need to create for you. So yeah, and is it Nicole again saying yes, it is. Frustration is me, and do you know what? You're not alone in that. I mean, Amy and I will put our hands up saying that we frustrate ourselves. You know, all of
Sam's
that. So
always asking me what my latest sabotage is, because there's always something I'm sabotaging myself with, or some way.
well, even just before I came on here, I suddenly couldn't talk, didn't I? I suddenly lost my voice. And I was like, I was like, sabotage. I know this is going to be amazing, and I'm stopping myself from doing it. So, and Sally, it is amazing. It really is, because we're also, not only have we done that 3 days with exercises for you to really kind of create this picture for yourself. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. I should have done a snap.
I think James has learned when Mummy's doing a video, go and ask for a biscuit, because she'll just say yes.
Yes, it's crisps today. But not only are we doing the 3 days, we're also going to do a bonus Q&A, because we know that you do the training and that's great, but it's when you kind of start to implement, you go, oh, what about this? What about that? So we're doing a Q&A over Zoom, so you can ask the questions to us. But in addition to that, this is why it's so amazing. We've also, oh God, hello. Right,
Sophie.
now you've said hello. All right, I love you. I'll be off in a bit. See you in a bit. So in addition to that, this bonus Q&A, you've got Amy and I to ask any question you want to ask about this subject. We're not going to tell you about how the world was created or evolution or anything like that, but we'll talk about business and what you need and what's come up for you and how to work through that. But also, we've got the amazing Francesca Winfield joining us, and she is an expert on branding. And this is about, you know, really leveraging who you are and what you are and how you show up for your clients. You know, and it's simple things that you will always see me with a blue background. You will always see my hummingbird. You will see my angel, because she has her crown on to step into the queen energy. That's what I do. And that's part of my branding. And it's, you know, you recognize it. Someone actually saw something of mine the other day and knew it was mine, because there was something, the bubble background that you see. They saw that and witnessed it, and they knew what it was about. So Fran is going to come and answer any questions that you've got on how to brand and how to leverage your branding. And Amy can then help you kind of say how to use it in your social media as well, and build that, you know, we talked about connection. It's the connection in the business, that step-by-step process of what you need to do, getting that clarity of what path you need to take, so that you can move forward with that confidence and that knowledge that it's just a matter of time. You know, we're all impatient. I'm the worst for this. I want it now. But you know, it's about having that calm to know when we become less impatient, when we know that it's a matter of time rather than if, it's when. So it's really important that we do that. So
panicky about it.
Yeah, and it is
like getting into my 70s and still not having succeeded. But I think now I feel less like, oh, I've got to push to make it happen now, because I know it will. I just need to keep going and keep working.
I have that classic one that, oh my God, I'm in my 40s. I need to be, you know, I should be further along than I am. You know, although I have to say, I'm going to do a post on this, because I had a conversation in the ice cream queue yesterday, and it was really interesting, because she was like, oh, I've got my 40th birthday coming up. Never met this woman. Just started talking to her about random stuff, and I don't know how it came up, but she had a 40th coming up, and we were chatting. I was like, oh God, I wouldn't go back to my 30s. Wouldn't go back to my 30s. But then I don't think it's about age. It's about having this clarity and calm, and just
definitely
the confidence in yourself, that knowing that it's within your power to do this. Yeah, that's so important. Oh, my phone's just suddenly turned on the volume. Sorry. Right. So, as I said, and as you've realized, this is incredible training, you know, and I know that it's something so many people desperately need, whether you're starting out, whether you're on that journey, but, you know, feeling like you're on a hamster wheel, not going anywhere, or you're just stuck in the indecision, you know, and you like Sally said, she's hiding herself because she doesn't know what she needs to say. That's a big part of the problem, isn't it? And actually, that was a conversation we had before this as well. Amy and I were talking about not knowing what to say, so that you don't say anything at all. And it's not fun being stuck in that pit of frustration,
Yeah.
you know, not knowing what you're doing, you know, and
Yeah.
we deserve success. You all deserve success. You deserve wild success. We all do. The world would be a better place if we were all out there rather than stopping ourselves from achieving all this. And I know that it's within your reach. It's these things that are stopping the success of so many. Why so many businesses fail. Why people have to go back to their jobs and feel like failures. And I don't want anybody to have to feel like that, because I know the fear of that was really in the pit of my stomach. So, you know, success is within the reach of all of us. And I want to tell you that, and for you to know that. And don't ever think that you can't do this. It's just, and it sounds simple. I know it's not as easy in reality, but it is all about just uncovering what is hidden, you know, and we will do this in the training. Now, something here. I normally do free monthly training, and I love doing the free monthly training. But, and as I mentioned to someone else, they said, is this free? It's not. Right? It's not going to be free, because I want you to invest. This is going to be a financial as well as time investment. But before you think, oh, I'm not going to be able to afford it then, because I know this training is worth thousands, right? It's getting into thousands, probably thousands a bit much, but you know, it's hundreds, if not 1,000, right? For this training, there is such gold nuggets in there, platinum nuggets that are really going to make a difference to your business. But both Amy and I have a mission to reach as many people as possible. We do not like the fact that there are so many business failures these days, and it doesn't need to be the case. So we have made this an incredibly low price of just £37, right? The noughts come after the dots. There is no other noughts. £37 for all of this. Now, let me tell you, first of all, why it's not free is because I know there's way more worth than the £37 we're charging. I know how much this is worth. And, you know, as I said, it's coming into the thousands. We have considered charging a lot more than this. But as I say, both of us are on a mission to help as many women as possible create the success on their terms. You know, we want you to do this, but do it without sacrifice. And so we want to make it accessible to you. So that's why we're doing it at a low price. Now, you know, I love doing what I do, but when something is for free, you know, we have less of an investment in it. It's about skin in the game, isn't it? I want you to have a different energy about this, that it might be only £37, but remember the value of it, what we're going to give to you, how much you're going to get from this training. You know, and when you invest financially, because we don't seem to value time. We really don't value time. And I was really upset, actually, at the response in the group about the lack of value of time, because to me, that's way more precious. You know, and I know someone said that you can, if with more money, you can buy more time. You can't buy more time, right? With time, you can create more money, but you can never create more time. So, you know, what I want you to do is value the time that you put into this. And when I know when you have financial investment, no matter how big it is, that you will push yourself that little bit more. And that's what I want you to do in this, because I want you to get the results. I want this to change you. I want this to change your business. And you're going to need to take some action from that. And as much as I can do it for you, you're going to be the ones that have to take the action. So really, it's about, are you ready for this? Now, your subconscious is probably going, no, I'm not going to do it. I need to make another excuse about time and money, because it's scared. And it's about putting that to one side and going, no, it's excited, because this could really make a difference to you. That's only £12.33 a day. Agreed. When it's free, I tend not to put the effort in. Exactly, Nicole.
We both really relate to that one, don't we? I just signed up for a 3-day challenge last week, that on a 5-day challenge that was free. I don't know why I did it, because I never have the time to do it, but it was a photo sorting one, and I've been wanting to do it for ages. But because it was free, when my week got manic, I knew that was the first thing that had to go. Whereas if I'd committed maybe £30 to it, I think I would have got it done. And that was just sorting my photos out. It wasn't even like, actually, this is going to help you bring more money in so you can then invest more things in other things. So it's there's some lovely comments there from everybody. I think it's great that everybody's understanding the value there. Really exciting.
I like that. The best £37 I'm going to spend for a while. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Amy, are you able to put the link in if people want to check it out?
Of course, yes.
I've even made a funky video for you in there. Took me ages to work that out, how to do it. I'll tell you what, video recording. Amy sent me a challenge. I decided to take her up on it, and I got it. It's like, it looks so simple. I'm really pleased with that video. I want feedback on the video because I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, go and check the page out just so we can hear what you think about the video.
But look, it is £37. This isn't like paying for our time or anything like that. This is, Amy and I really want you to get something out of this training. So, you know, it's really important that, you know, you are going to take the action, that you are going to do what you need to do. You have it within you to do this. And I know every single one of you here, because I know you all quite well. You know, please do, you know, I know this will help you if you're feeling frustrated. And anybody that's watching on replay, if you are, you know, this isn't just for people that are on the business journey already. I know there's a few people in this group that are ready to start their business and feeling that I can't quite get it there. This will give you the traction and momentum that you need, that clarity and confidence to step forward and take the action that you need. I picked, funnily enough, this was the card that I picked today, was Leap. There we go, get it in focus. Right. And it's so true. We just need to take, it says here, you go first, the universe will catch you. So look, if you are ready for this, hit that button, hit that link that Amy's put in there and sign up today. Grab your place. Let's get this going. I am so excited. It's going to be a private Facebook group for you. It won't be open straight away. We're going to open it nearer the time because we want to get it all ready. We want to build that excitement. We want to build the energy because you can then use that energy to move forward. Okay. So if you are ready, you are excited, then please do join us because well, you can tell we've gone an hour on this live. It was going to be half an hour, wasn't it?
I was just thinking that we were aiming
I've just looked up at the time.
Jane has just asked, we've talked all of that time and we haven't actually talked about when it's happening. So
right, okay.
Monday the 15th of May, 10 a.m. we're going to the trainings. 1 o'clock, that's right, because so we're going to keep the trainings at 1 o'clock every single day. Just try and keep with the consistency. There will, of course, be replays available in the group and a chance for you to ask any questions on the replays as well. So it's Monday the 15th, so 2 weeks yesterday. Let's get these short, horrible bank holiday messing about teacher strike week.
Horrible. They're fun bank holidays.
It's the bank holidays are all right. It's the 2 days I've got to work in between them that's the problem. So we'll let ourselves get through the messiness of the 2 bank holidays, and then we're going to really settle down. And what I really love about the timing of this is it feels like it's a really great boost for those of you who, like me, have kids, just for that towards the summer. In fact, whether you've got kids or not, just that boost towards the summer to get yourself really on track so that you can have the break that you deserve as well in the summer, but just get yourself feeling like you know what you're doing and that you can justify some time off.
And even sooner, by the end of May, you know, it's 3 days in 2 weeks' time. You know, the Q&A session is the 3rd week of May. By the end of May, you know, whether you have Whitsun off or not with the kids, you know, you're going to have that clarity and knowledge of the way forward that you need to take. And that's what's exciting. In less than a month, you could have that path cleared and be able to move forward. And that's what we want for you. So, you know, there are, ask any questions you've got. Please do tell us. I've done a Q&A on the opt-in page. So there's some answers there as well. And all the dates and times are in there. You get, when you sign up, you'll get an email with the link to the Facebook group. And some more information, well, confirmation of the dates and what you're going to be doing each day. So you'll have all that. So any kind of questions that you've got, ask us, because if I've not put them on there, I'll make sure they go on there for anybody else in the future. So has anybody got any questions? I know we've taken up a lot of your time, and I do value your time. We wouldn't have spent an hour if it wasn't to tell you how good this is. So do ask any questions that you've got. Who's joining us? Who's signing up? Who's coming? Let's get that energy going. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And to have the lovely fans as well with us.
There's so much that we've tried to get into this, but I also want to explain that the goal of it was to give you something tangible, something specific to come out with afterwards. Jane says she's signing up. I love it. So we will create a workbook to go alongside this. We've been doing that for our last few trainings, and they've been working really well. So you will have, and this is something I always wished I'd had, a document to refer back to. You can print it off, you can have it on your desk, and every month when you're sitting down to do your planning, or if you're feeling like, crap, I'm really shit this month, I can't do anything, you can grab that blueprint, you can have a look at it, and you can say, right, this is what Sam and Amy said, this was our plan, and this is what I'm going to make happen. We could do the front page. I might have to make the front page a bit of a vision board so you guys can draw or write down what is on your jigsaw that you're aiming for, and you can constantly have that there to refer back to. We were really conscious of making sure that you had something specific and tangible to get from this. It's not just another 3-day free challenge. It's actually training. You're actually going to learn from it.
I don't feel fulfilled when I don't give value. So as much as anything, it's very selfish. I just want to make sure that you get what you want from it. So yeah. And Sally, that's lovely. Look, if you've got clients booked in the diary, the last thing I want you to do is mess them around. Okay. So yes, if you can turn up live, you get more energy from it. You know that, Sally, we've worked together before. But if you've got clients in, like, you know, we want to nurture our clients. There will be replays available. Now, the training, I want to say, is going to be available for a short time because I want you to take that action. I want to also encourage you. I was talking a lot about psychology with Amy beforehand, and one of those things is when we don't have a time limit to our to something, we tend to let it drift.
Definitely.
And it doesn't get the priority that it needs. That's why this actually has a time to it as well, because we want you to give that priority. We want to give that deadline, that accountability to you to, you know, make sure that you do it. And as Amy said, you know, I will actually reach down now, and I have my own business, and I hate the word SOP, you know, systems or processes, whatever it is, but this contains, and it's not completely fat. Look, there's a big pile of empty. Well, there was a big pile of empty.
But it's not going to be that big.
No, it's not that big, but it's got lots in there because that's my kind of my systems that I work to. And that sounds very corporate, very bland. But what it is I can keep going back and referring back to, and also the joy of seeing how far I've come with this. So, you know, when I look at what I'm leveraging and the strengths and what's going well, and what I need to deal with the bad stuff, the stuff that we'll be dealing on Monday, the 15th, then I can go back and see what I can tweak to improve it even more. So you're never starting from the beginning. This gives you that, we've called it the blueprint for success, because it is a blueprint that is your own, that creates the pathway for your wildly successful business. Okay. We've gone on a different way. If we haven't got any more questions,
I think that was don't apologize for going on, because you just ended it there on a perfect, wildly successful business. Go.
I keep doing that.
Oh my God.
So look, if anybody has got any questions, if you're watching this on replay and you've got loads of questions coming up, then please do either comment on this post or drop us a DM. More than happy. I have just been chased up because we've got to go and buy his birthday cake. I normally make his birthday cakes, but he wants to buy it this time, so we're going out in a little bit to get. He's heard that. To go and get his birthday cake. You're
excited to Minecraft one.
Yeah. No, you're getting a Sonic one, I think, aren't you? Sonic, yeah. Okay.
Harry loves Sonic. We love Sonic.
2 more days. Yes, we know we're counting down. May the 4th be with you. Go. But I will be on DMs if you need me. And if you've got any questions, then please do ask. There's no such thing as a silly question because you don't know the answer. So do ask. You know that I'm always here and approachable. So we are here. The link is there for you to check out any more information and read through. And please do join us. It's going to be epic.
It's going to be so good.
Right. Is that it? Have we done everything that we need to?
Yeah, I think we've covered everything. Just as we hit 1 hour, that looks like a perfect time to say goodbye. We'll see you all soon, everybody.
Bye-bye.